When Prince Harry and Meghan Markle detonated royal tradition and escaped the UK in a frenzy of headlines, hostility, and panic buttons, it wasn't the monarchy that stepped in. It was Tyler Perry, Hollywood mogul, billionaire, and unexpectedly, their personal knight in shining armor. Perry opened his doors, literally. A private estate tucked in Beverly Hills, full access to security, staff, and his private jet. The couple traded palaces for Perry's protection and peace. For a moment, it was the fairy tale reset they desperately sought. No prying tabloids, no courtiers, just sanctuary. But Tyler was more than a benefactor. He became kin. Harry openly called him family. Meghan didn't just say it, she made it official, naming Perry godfather to their daughter, Lilibet. A gesture steeped in royal symbolism. There were photos, Netflix tears, moments crafted for legacy. Perry seemed genuinely moved. He promised to stand by the child, always. It felt unshakable. Until everything shifted. A bombshell lawsuit dropped, $260 million in claims against Perry by actor Derek Dixon, alleging a hostile, abusive work environment. Allegations that cast Perry in a light far removed from the benevolent savior narrative. Documents surfaced, testimonies mounted, and as the story exploded across media, Meghan went silent. Not just silent, surgical. Within hours, Perry's presence was wiped from her online world. Posts vanished, mentions scrubbed. Even the christening announcement for Lilibet underwent a stealthy update. Royal followers noticed immediately. "Where's Uncle Tyler?" became the chorus on social media. But the Duchess? She said nothing. Here's where it gets complicated. Behind the glamour of that Beverly Hills hospitality sat something very real. A legally binding confidentiality agreement. Everyone who stayed in Perry's home had to sign one. No leaks, no betrayals, no drama. But within that standard NDA was a buried clause, one that may now shift the balance. It stipulated that if either party disowns the other publicly, the gag order lifts. That means Perry, if he interprets Meghan's online erasure as a disavowal, may have full legal clearance to speak. And not subtly, legally, publicly, unfiltered. Suddenly, every private moment, the late-night strategy calls, therapy-level confessions, brand brainstorms, their potential content. Networks are already circling. Production pitches have hit his desk. One executive was overheard calling it Oprah 2.0, but with receipts. Meanwhile, Harry is caught in the middle. The man who shielded his family is now a risk, but also a memory he can't shake. Meghan, however, is playing it cold and clean. Her brand is calculated, polished, risk-averse. And right now, Tyler Perry is a liability. But Perry didn't just offer help. He gave cover during their darkest hour. The swift deletion of that contribution, insiders say, cut deep. Friends close to Perry describe him as stunned, then angry. Not just at the perceived betrayal, but at how quickly his role was rewritten, or worse, erased. Then came the fatal mistake. Meghan's team attempted to retract an old press release naming Perry as Lilibet's godfather. It backfired. Screenshots preserved the original. Royal watchers compiled side-by-side timelines showing Meghan's online affection, curiously ending the moment Perry's lawsuit surfaced. And Perry? He's holding his cards, but not folding. Sources say he's gathered everything. Photos, texts, videos, drafts from the Netflix deal, even voice notes from crisis meetings. Not for vengeance, for protection. If needed, for vindication. Because to Perry, this isn't just about being ghosted, it's about being rewritten. Producers, media houses, book agents, they're all inquiring. And while Perry remains publicly quiet, his camp is strategizing. There's a version of this story where he reclaims the narrative, where he goes on the record not as the jilted friend, but as the truth teller. And if he does, it won't just rattle Meghan's brand. It could unmask the mechanics behind her entire public image, the curated circle, the disappearing friends, the post-scandal distancing that's now a visible pattern. Jessica Mulroney, Serena Williams, Oprah, all once frequent fixtures, now conspicuously absent. And Tyler Perry might be the tipping point, because unlike the others, he has documented depth, a paper trail of real proximity and real moments. Even Harry's allies are whispering concerns. The shifting alliances, the silenced loyalties, the optics of selective memory. It's not just messy, it's alienating. And Perry, long celebrated for his loyalty, might finally decide to speak not to retaliate, but to remind the world he was there. For everything, from the breakdowns to the business moves, from the private tears to the public pivots. And he was there when Netflix called, when Archewell's structure was debated, when scripts were read, PR statements polished and footage curated, when lawsuits were anticipated, when staff were vetted. Tyler wasn't a footnote, he was central. He kept the walls up while Harry and Meghan rebuilt their image brick by brand new brick. Insiders say the phones haven't stopped ringing, not just tabloids, reputable newsrooms, docuseries developers, streaming giants, all making offers, all dangling control. You write it, we film it, one reportedly said. And Perry? He's considering. Because this isn't just a tabloid clash, it's a reputational war. And in Perry's world, credibility is currency. Being written out stings, being misremembered burns, but being used, that's unforgivable. Meghan's team, meanwhile, has moved into overdrive. A new brand campaign, new pastel filters, more polished captions. But it's not working. The questions remain. The comment sections swell. And every moment of silence from her side adds volume to the noise. Even longtime supporters are hesitant. A fashion brand paused their collab launch. A podcast sponsor backed out. Her allies, once so vocal, are now unsure what to say. Because if Perry speaks, there's no counterpunch. Harry, sources say, is unraveling. He still holds gratitude for the man who opened his home. He recalls the FaceTimes with Archie, the home-cooked dinners, the midnight walks through Perry's garden just to breathe. He's torn, caught between marital loyalty and personal debt. And Perry? He's waiting, measuring, preparing. The archive isn't rumor. It's real. Audio logs, drafts, memos, WhatsApp chats, strategy decks. He has a full record of the Sussex reset, and he may use it. The palace, from behind gilded walls, watches this implosion with tea in hand. No statements needed, no interference required. For once, the firm wins by doing nothing, just letting the drama play out, unscripted. In California, the pressure is cracking the foundation. Meghan's carefully crafted image, empowered, authentic, resilient, is now up against something more dangerous than a headline, someone who knows the truth and has the receipts. If Perry steps forward, this won't be a dramatic monologue. It'll be a revelation, a timeline reset, a redefining of roles, the rescuer, the planner, the protector, all forgotten in pursuit of narrative control. And if Meghan's team continues pretending he never existed, Perry just might remind the world how central he was to it all. Because this isn't just about gossip, it's about history. And Tyler Perry has the pen. He remembers every off-the-record conversation, every moment when decisions were made between legal threats and brand opportunities. Meghan's coffee-fueled voice memos. Harry's panic after family calls went cold. The therapy sessions they debated televising, the storyboards for the docuseries, the outtakes that never made the final edit. Perry saw it, heard it, filed it. Some of that material, insiders say, could drastically shift public opinion. The Sussex story, once framed as an escape from cruelty, might be reframed as a masterclass in manipulation. Not entirely untrue, but far more strategic than vulnerable. And the media, they're frothing. One network's legal team is already drafting terms. Another is developing a live docuseries concept, real-time reactions, insider testimonies, receipts galore. Tyler Perry's potential testimony could change the narrative forever. Back in Montecito, Meghan's team is tightening the walls. Brand language is being rewritten. Pre-recorded interviews are on hold. PR reps are coaching everyone, from assistants to stylists, on how to answer Tyler-related questions. They don't, they can't, they won't. But silence isn't a shield, not this time. Because if Perry steps forward, this isn't just about who said what. It's about trust, power, influence, and whether the world will still applaud a woman who erased her child's godfather the second he became inconvenient. This could unravel everything. Podcasts, partnerships, philanthropy deals. Media networks might walk. Brand sentiment will drop. The world doesn't like users, and Tyler Perry? He has the receipts to prove he was more than useful. He was essential. There may be no coming back.